Welcome to another episode of Ball Sports, and probably a lot of and I would imagine in most everybody's. This is the first time they've seen this show, the first time they've seen Ball Sports here on the Recliner Media Network, because this is the first time I've had Ball Sports on the Recliner, which I'm excited to. And what's funny is when this was, I was thinking about how I was going to come in, and I was, thinking of all the things like sayings, how you intro, how you come in and you say, sit back, relax, kick back, hit the recline position and relax. So I was thinking of trying to, of how to come up with a clever way to enter the kickback, relax, and enjoy the show. I can't say enjoy the ride, because there's a lot of people kind of say that, and I don't know. I don't know what kind of ride this would be, But anyway, my name is Matt Mascarenas, and this show is called Ball Sports, where we talk about all ball. If it's a sport and they use a ball to play it, typically we will talk about it here. You hear a lot of golf, a lot of football, a lot of basketball, some tennis, not a lot, because tennis ball, trying to think of other bowling ball, not a lot of bowling, but I would say the major ball sports are what you're going to hear on this show. And also this year, which I'm excited to get into, is baseball, more baseball. If you're an old Ball Sports listener or viewer, however you consumed the show, we didn't talk a lot of baseball. And I said a lot about baseball, my love for baseball, my enjoyment, my fandom of baseball. It was hard because my team, or my local team, the regional team, however you want to look at it, the team I grew up rooting for is not the hometown team. So, but when we did get a team here in Colorado. I am from Colorado. I live in Colorado, which there's a lot of us here on the Recliner Media Network that live here, I would imagine. I'm not saying all of us, but there's most of us do. So you probably get a lot of perspective from this region. But growing up, I was a Braves fan. It was either you're a Braves fan or a Cubs fan because of Superstation, TBS, Turner Broadcasting Station, or you're a fan of, what was it, WGN? I want to say it was WGN, and you would get Cubs games, and I feel like you got White Sox games too, but I know you got Cubs games. So you either grow up watching those teams. If you had cable, those are the games I would watch. I'd watch Braves games, and I became a Braves fan. I was also a Denver Zephyr fan. The Bears, they were here. I would watch games. I would go watch games at the old Mile High Stadium, where they would move the outfield around, and infield would be like around the end zone, or around I can't remember how they would set it up, but I'd go watch games there. I was a fan of those teams. So I was a baseball fan growing up. The Rockies came, huge Rockies fan. I got all I got Coke bottles, I got cereal boxes, I got programs, I got a whole do I have it handy here? I might have it handy. Maybe I don't, but I got a box full. I know it's around here. I was just looking at it the other day, of programs from the first Rocky season. So I'm a Rockies fan, but there hasn't really been much to root for, or hasn't been really much to look forward to in the past 10 years. So I'm excited this season. And I know that you're the Rockies fans, or the Rockies, the people that have been there from day one and haven't left, and have been through, I don't even know what you want to call the last 10 years, but have just been through that, losing probably one of the greatest infielders that I've ever seen in my life, Nolan Arenado, who, the grass isn't always greener. The grass isn't always greener as you're seeing what he's going through. Now he's in Arizona. The Rockies have got they got the Moneyball guy as their new that as the new guy that's going to run everything. A lot of things have stayed the same from last year, so I'm not going to really get into the Rockies, but I'm what I'm saying is that there's going to be a lot of baseball talk this year, or for me on this show going forward, because I think this is a team that I could or a situation with this team that I could really look into and be interested in to see, okay, is this going to be better? Is it finally going to be better? Are we finally going to go in a direction where it looks like they're actually going somewhere, or there's actually something that resembles a plan of how they're going to get better, or how they're going to develop talent, or they're going to acquire talent. I don't know what they're going to do, but I just want hey, look, this is what we're thinking, and that's what I want, and that's what I think we're going to have this year. So going forward, I'm going to be interested in baseball. I've been paying attention to it already. Spring training. I've been kind of not sort of locked in, but or not like kind of just looking at it. I've been paying attention, trying to consume as much baseball as I can, as opposed to last year's. But my heart still lies on the court, and I'm a huge basketball fan. So there's going to be a lot of basketball talk on this show. A lot of basketball talk. Football. Seasonal. I'm seasonal with football. If it's in season, I'll talk about it. If there's something going on, I'll talk about it. The combines this week, I'm not a big combine guy. I think a lot of people put too much into the combine. A lot of stats people, a lot of numbers people get crazy about the combine. Anymore, people don't really even they don't even participate in the combine. The Fernando Mendoza, he's not even going to throw in the combine this year. He's going to throw at the pro day, Indiana's pro day. So it's and this isn't the first time this happens a lot throughout these seasons, where you get it's not what it was. So I could care less about the combine. The closer you get into the draft, it gets interesting with the storylines, and I'll talk about that. I like to kind of dig into the draft a little bit, but the draft overall, especially this year, there's not a lot of storylines to it, in my opinion. It's kind of funny because you can look at it one way or the other as there's a guaranteed first round pick, because there's not really a guaranteed first round pick. There's Fernando Mendoza, and then there's nobody else. Right? So there's not a lot of, and what I'm thinking, what I'm trying to hope for, and I'm trying to look this up to see if there's any, because I'm looking for trades, because this could be a situation this year where I think there could be some trades. And you look at the number one pick. Who has a number one pick? The Raiders. Now, if you're a Raider fan, do you want Fernando Mendoza? Do you want an Indiana quarterback? Yeah, he's a Heisman guy. He's a Heisman winner, but I'm not trying to discredit the season that he had, or the season that other players had for him to achieve winning the Heisman. But as the Raiders, you're going into there's a new coach, a new everything, a new reset again. Is Fernando Mendoza is that the situation? Max Crosby he wants to be in a winning situation. You have that issue that's going on. Like what I'm saying is this a situation where the Raiders try to trade that number one pick? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing the possibility of when we get more into the draft, we get more into the NFL offseason. That's what I want to see, if there's a storyline like that pops out, I'm hoping there is. And I mean immediately, and it's just because it's the Raiders and they've already done it. But you look at the guy in Cincinnati. Do they go and try to get another? We've seen the storyline coming out of that situation. We don't know if he's what would make him want to stay there. And but at the same time, does he want to come to Las Vegas and be a Raider? Like, I mean, if the Raiders were still in California, in Oakland, Los Angeles, would that be more enticing than Las Vegas? I don't know. Maybe Joe Burrow would like that. I don't know. But it would. What's it going to take to get somebody to get that situation handled? Is it going to take, obviously, the number one draft pick? And does Cincinnati even want that? Do they look at Fernando? Does Cincinnati now look at Fernando Mendoza and be like, is that somebody that they want to draft? Is that a situation, a quarterback situation that they want to be in outside of what they're already in? And from the Raiders' perspective, is it going to take the number one pick? Obviously. But is it going to take another one? Is this a situation where they throw in Max Crosby? Is this a situation where you can get rid of Max Crosby? I don't know. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, if there's a situation or a storyline like that pop up. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. But other than that, it's going to be boring. Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers. That's the storyline potentially. You got Mike McCarthy, the potential reunion. Mike McCarthy, who I give a lot of credit to. I'm a Packers fan, if you can't tell behind me. I give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit to the development of Aaron Rodgers, but you can also look at it from the perspective of saying that Mike McCarthy held Aaron Rodgers back, which, when Mike McCarthy left and Aaron Rodgers, there was the leaving and Aaron Rodgers was gone, and there was all that finger pointing. It got kind of awkward, but it was crazy that Aaron Rodgers only won one Super Bowl. The type of quarterback that Aaron Rodgers was, it is crazy that he only won one Super Bowl. And I mean, that's a storyline that we could see, but Aaron Rodgers has to come back. We haven't really. He's gone dark. Literally, he's gone dark. We really don't know what's going on with A-Rod. So until that happens, we don't. There's that story's kind of not there. There's been links of him going to Minnesota potentially, but then that brings up the what's his name? Shoot, I just forgot his name. McCarthy. What's his first name? I can't stand him. Anyway, JJ McCarthy. I just got him because I was talking about Mike McCarthy, JJ. And then, so here's another situation with Minnesota, a storyline. I'm a storyline guy, especially when it comes to the offseason in the NFL. That I'm kind of hoping that we could see. These are fantasy storylines. And the Chargers, right? Jim Harbaugh was gushing over JJ, gushing over him. I wonder if there's like a situation where the Vikings, and where are they picking? I'd have to look to where they're picking. See, I don't. This is one of those shows too where I'm not a stats guy. I'm not a numbers guy. I use numbers sometimes, kind of, sort of, but I'm not. I like to watch. I'm a film over stats guy. If that's, I even kind of feel weird saying that, but I'm a film over. I like to watch instead of look at the numbers, right? But I don't know exactly where Minnesota is, but like is that something? Can they go and get Herbert, or does the Chargers? Does Harbaugh look like he's locked into Herbert? I feel like what they did with Mike McDaniel, and that could be something but just I don't know. I've seen Justin Herbert do some things where I'm like, my God. He is one of those dudes, but then it's like he's nothing really that special. So those are some storylines that I'm hoping that come from the NFL offseason. But other than that, you're not going to hear a lot of stuff about the NFL. Like that was the extent of the NFL football talk that you might hear or that you're going to hear outside of little tidbits here and there that are news or that I feel like are newsworthy. But other than that, I'm very seasonal in sports, especially when it comes to the NFL. I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation about if Drake May is going to be the next this and that. Like I'm just I like storylines in the offseason with the NFL. I really but I that's what I like in the offseason. It's storylines and see if something out. So those are kind of some of the things that I'm going to be looking out for. I think the Raiders are going to be a huge story to watch over the offseason. I think the whatever the situation is with Pittsburgh, and then you start seeing where the free agents are going to go. That's something else that I will talk a lot. I do like to see how the free agents stack up and where they end up going and where they look like they're going to go, and that is kind of, those storylines are kind of cool to me too. So when free agency opens up, you'll hear a little bit more NFL. But other than that, it's going to be a lot of basketball. A lot of basketball. We got March Madness coming up. We're on the doorstep of it. We're going to have the conference championships right around the corner. We're going to get into those. I'm not a big bracketologist person. I do like brackets. I do like filling out brackets. I do like talking about brackets, but I'm not like a dude you're not going to come to me. I would never tell you to look at my bracket and go along those lines. I would never say that. Because I'm not a bracket guy, but I will do brackets, and hopefully we could talk about the brackets here on the show, and for sure we'll do that. But a lot of basketball. A lot of basketball, a lot of NBA, a lot of college basketball. Like I mentioned, WNBA. I'm a huge WNBA fan. Mike and I will do a WNBA preview show, WNBA draft preview show like we did last year, draft show like we did last year. That was one of our biggest shows we ever done. I had fun doing that show. Do it again. It's going to happen again. We love women's basketball. And it's again, a lot of basketball for me, unrivaled. The 3-on-3 series, the 1-on-1 series that just went by or just finished up was tremendous. It was awesome to watch that stuff, but we're big basketball fans here on Ball Sports. Ball Sports is a huge basketball show, but right now, as we're looking at the NBA, and this is where I'm going to finish off the show, just kind of like an intro show, especially to those that haven't been here in a while or have never seen me at all and are new to Ball Sports here on the Recliner Media Network, which I am digging. I'm digging it. Is the biggest thing I've seen this season with the NBA is tanking. Now, I don't think it's a storyline. It's a story that's as old as time. I feel like it's been going on since the early 2000s when Greg Popovich started to do it with Tim Duncan. But I would even imagine that you can even look at it as sometimes in the past where you can see some load management, but in different scenarios, different ways that they were doing it. But what it's created is super teams. Like the new super team is a team that load management or that did the tanking, sorry, not load management, but did the tanking in the past. Your perfect examples are, or the best example of it all is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then you have the San Antonio Spurs, and then closely behind are the Detroit Pistons. So those are three examples. And a team that is right next to that are the Utah Jazz. They're assembling quite the array of draft picks and assets that have already been drafted. There's Ace Bailey's there. There's Markkinen's there. They've moved around with some things here by the trade deadline. So there's examples of the new super team are teams that tanked in the past. Those are the new super teams. There's no more big threes. There's no more, superstar join up with the superstar. Those teams aren't going to win anymore. Those teams aren't going to work because you have the super teams that are 10 deep, that are top draft picks, that are the roster top to bottom are littered with top draft picks and the right mix of trades and of trades for young guys that were other teams' top draft picks. And what they're doing are assembling super teams through tanking, through getting draft picks, through trades, through to getting young talent from other teams and developing them. And there's a process to it, and the developmental process is the biggest thing of this, which when you look at Oklahoma City and you really can point at them as saying that the developmental process has been tremendous. Because you can draft all these guys, and there's been examples in the past of drafting guys, but the development was never there. Oklahoma City, you're seeing the development. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was traded from the Clippers and was acquired. So that's an example of them acquiring young talent to their team. Now, however, that trade was initiated by whether it was the Clippers that initiated to acquire Paul George or whether it was Oklahoma City that said, hey, you guys want Paul George. However it happened, Oklahoma City was right on their acquisition of SGA, who has been one of the best players in the league in the past 3 seasons. But there was a point where this team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, were tanking. Even with SGA, they were tanking. They were still going through the process that they needed to get where they did and to create a super team, won an NBA championship, and right now is the best team in the NBA. Hands down. And my biggest storyline too that goes along with that, with the tanking that creates these super teams, because you have Wemby and you have everything the Spurs represent and the talent, the raw talent that they're developing there with the Spurs, Detroit, and those teams are starting to rise as being some of the best teams in the NBA. The Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the top 3 in the Western Conference, Detroit's in the top and on top in the Eastern Conference. And that's the end result of tanking the right way. And to me, that's kind of the biggest storyline, because you're seeing other teams do it and the NBA is trying to find out a way to stop it. But you're also seeing the teams that are benefits of it, how good they are and how good they can be and how successful tanking can be. So why it's a big problem. If the NBA identifies it as a problem, although they have examples of it working, and if they want teams or they want the NBA to be better in the future, shouldn't they allow tanking? Well, no. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that if they're having examples of it working, then why would you want to prevent it? Well, you don't want professional athletes who everyday, like you wouldn't, this professional basketball, the NBA wouldn't be a thing if there wasn't any fans. So you don't want to take away from the fans that spend their hard-earned, that invest their hard-earned time and money to come watch you play basketball, that you get paid millions of dollars to do. And that is a detriment to the league, and it hurts the league in the long run. I really think it does, because you have a lot of people that are just out on the league, even though I think the way, now this is another topic, another conversation that we could get into on another show, but even though you do have people that are going away from the league and other reasons because of the way one of the best teams in the league plays basketball. One of the teams that I've mentioned plays basketball. There's other reasons why, but I think tanking is a big reason why you're going to see people turn away from the NBA. And I think it's really a good thing if the NBA tries to get something in place that can, I don't know if stop tanking is the right way, because there's been a lot of suggestions about, hey, let's just get rid of the draft. And they're all free agents. I mean, they're getting paid money. They're getting paid in college anyway. And it could be a situation like they're legit free agents. Like, especially if you got kids that are coming out as freshmen, like AJ DeBansa this year, or DP from Kansas. And that's another topic we're going to get into, that one too. That's one of my favorite topics that's going on this year too. If you don't know, we'll get into that as well. But these guys, these guys that are coming from college, that are freshmen, they're legit free agents. So if you're going to have an NBA team to go there and say, hey, we'll offer you X amount, blah, blah, blah. Can you have a college team turn around and be like, hey, we'll match that? Like, can we have the NIL come back? And can these kids be true free agents? Like, if you do that, are you going to create this now? Because that's what can happen now. College is already getting closer to be gone. The amateur is gone. So it's not high school is now the next, or the last amateur, truly amateur. But even you could say high school is even getting tarnished with some of the things that I've seen being involved in high school sports. So, but I think it's a big issue that we're going to see how it gets handled as far as the tanking goes. But I think if you make it free agency, the college players coming out of college early, get rid of the draft, just make them free agents. That's crazy. That could be opening up a lot, because then now those guys are going to be free agents. Now they can go. Are they going to go? Like I said, are you going to have like a school that just got a big booster, a big donor, like a Indiana did in football with Mark Cuban? That's what people are going to be talking about. You get a school like that and they come back, no. Hey, AJ, why don't you come play college for, I don't know, the Arkansas Pine Bluff or so. I don't know. I'm just saying some obscure school that got this big donor that's going to offer this kid a bunch of money. Is that what we're going to start seeing? Is that what we're going to start seeing if we go the free agent route? I don't know. I don't know if that's how it works, but I would imagine that that's what you start seeing. If college and the NIL is already there and they're getting paid, who's to say that they're not going to say, well, okay, if you're going to offer money, then here's the free agent bidding. You come here, I'll pay you this much. You can play college. You play college basketball here. So that's a storyline that's interesting to me in the NBA. One that I'm really going to be following along, and if there's any news on it, I'm going to be interested in it. Another one is the MVP. The MVP race for the longest time. We're going to end the show on this. Has the MVP race has always been Nikola Jokic, and either Joel Embiid, Giannis was up there. Was up there, kind of go Jason Tatum, kind of, sort of, but it's always been Nikola Jokic. And then in the past couple seasons, it's been SGA. But this year, both of the players, SGA and Nikola Jokic, are getting really, really close to the, what do you call it? The injury number, right? So if they hit certain amount of injuries, that they are ineligible for postseason awards. Jokic, I think, is the next game. If he goes one more game where he's hurt, he misses one more game, he's out. I guess that's the way I understand it. I think he's one or two games. SGA is, I think he'll probably come up to that next week where he's, one more game, he's out. So in my mind, those guys are out. Just get rid of them. They're out. They're out. So now, and also too, real quick before I move on from SGA and Jokic, which I think Joker is the best player in the world. Um, even the injury this year, you can still go and look at what he does and watch him play basketball, even though he's played like crap these past couple games or since he's been back from injury. He's not looked like Nikola Jokic, even though you look at the stat line, and that's why stats are, you got to watch games. You got to watch games because the stats look great. They look like Nikola Jokic stats, but he's playing like ass. So he's still the best player in the world. SGA just proven from what his team has done and what I said before. His team's a super team. It's the crowning, it's the shining example of tanking. And it's the best example that you're ever going to see. It is. Because I could definitely see that team. I don't believe in Mark Dagnall. I don't believe in him as a coach. I think he's driving a Ferrari and he's doing a very good job driving right now, but it's not the driver, it's the car right now. It's the car. And I think he's going to do something. There's something that he did it last year. He lost game 1 against in that Denver series because of his rotations down the stretch and some of the decisions that he made down the stretch. He lost that game. I felt like he could have done better, but that's a super team. I don't think SGA changes the way that team is and is successful in the way it plays basketball as much as Nikola Jokic changes the way the Denver Nuggets play basketball. And you can see that by when he was out, how they had to change how they played basketball in order to win, and they did. The dumbest take in the league right now is Nikola Jokic. How come that Denver was better when Nikola Jokic was out, as opposed to now that he's back and they're not as good as he was as they were when he was out. Now he's back because of how much he changes and he affects the game, and how much he changes and he affects the way that team plays basketball. I'm not going to use the injuries because everybody's injured. The Oklahoma City Thunder has been at almost the most injured team this season as far as their starters playing together. But again, that is another reason why they are a super team. They don't have a collection of superstar all-stars in name and in what they've done in their careers, but what they have is a super team in super young, athletic future all-stars. All these guys are not going to be all-stars on this team. It's what's like I'm very, very curious to see how Oklahoma City advances throughout the years with when all these guys come up and how they navigate it. Like I could totally see them trading a collection of these guys for a superstar. I could totally see that. But when you take Nikola Jokic and you take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and what they do and how they affect the way their team plays basketball, it's night and day. It just is. It just is. And I'm just done with that topic. I'm done with them being looked at as MVPs. I'm hoping that their injury, that they are out another game for whatever reason. I'm not hoping that they get hurt, but I'm hoping that and it's going to happen. Nicole is going to rest for another game or two. He's going to rest. He's going to rest on a back-to-back. He's going to rest on a Saturday game when they have a game. He's going to rest on a Friday night when they have a game on Sunday, or he's going to play Friday and he's going to rest on Sunday when they have a game on Tuesday. There's something going to be in there where he's going to miss it, and he's out of the MVP race. SGA, same thing. He's going to be out of the MVP race because he's going to be ineligible with the numbers. So let's stop talking about them. That was my little spiel on that deal. I'm done. Let's stop talking about him. Let's talk about Jaylen Brown. Let's talk about Cade Cunningham. Let's talk about Wemby. Let's talk about Luka. Let's talk about, I know I'm missing somebody out. I'm missing somebody off the top of my head. But let's talk about these guys. Let's go forward talking about these guys. Let's see where Jalen Brunson, even though the Knicks are playing like ass right now, they look like, oh my God, they look like ass last night. And that's what you get for hiring Mike Brown. That's what you get for not even looking at Mike Malone. Call me biased, but that's what you freaking get when you fire your coach last year and then you hire freaking this. That's what you get, New York. That's what you get. That pissed me off, man. New York had a really good chance. NBA's better when the Knicks and the Celtics and the Lakers and the Spurs and teams like that are good. Are the NBA is better when that happens. And the Knicks had a chance, but oh my God, it's crazy. But anyway, let's talk about these guys. Let's look at what these guys are doing, and let's talk about I am so ready to have that conversation about Jaylen Brown. Why not? It's crazy. And the conversation can be had about Cade Cunningham. I'm not going to say that he should win it this year. I'm not going to go that far unless Detroit just goes on an absolute crazy run this with what do they got, like 20 something games left. I mean, the rest of the season. I'm not going to go that far. But the conversation can be had is what I'm saying. Why not put these guys in the conversation? Take out, like I said, those guys are out. They're out. They're going to be out number by just straight numbers. Just straight ineligibility by amount of games played. They're going to be out. So let's just take them out. Just take them out. But it's really something that we can't have these conversations. That there's always that you always have to go with these. It just drives me crazy. Jaylen Brown is on a team. There's no Jason Tatum, and he still has him third in the East or second in the East, and Detroit's first. Like what Cade's been doing is just pretty special and remarkable, and he's got the confidence that you would want out of an MVP candidate. And I just I mean I did have Luka really high on my MVP list. I did. And I even got Wemby. I got Wemby on there. You talk about that. I did have Luka high on my MVP list, but I don't know what that was. I just don't know what we got going recently. I don't know. I don't know what's there. I don't know if it's a him and LeBron problem, if it's a him and Austin problem, if it's a him and both of those guys, of JJ, I don't know. He's skinny, right? He's skinny Luka. No more hookah Luka. I don't know. So, but he's in the conversation. Like, he gets going, he's in the conversation again. He's always going to be in that conversation. He's the best player on that team. We can get into the Lakers. We will get into the Lakers at some point. But they've and that's why I was this where I was going with that is it's hard to put to he's in the conversation. Just like I said, you could put Jaylen in the conversation. You could put Cade in the conversation. I just because they're on teams that are where they need to be as far as MVP candidates, but at the same time, they're not playing good basketball right now as you look at the Lakers and you look at the Knicks. I know the Knicks are third in the East. The Lakers they dropped again, but they were kind of up there in the mid, but the Lakers aren't playing good. And if I just said, Luka's the best player on that team, then it's hard to really put him up there in that MVP conversation again. But there was a time I had him up there. I did. But all I'm saying is let's start looking in other places for MVPs this year. Let's just start looking. Let's have those conversations. Let's have the conversations. Let's go find these guys. Let's be okay. Let's be okay with crowning somebody else besides SGA and Nikola Jokic. Let's be okay with it. Okay. And I'm the biggest Denver Nuggets fan you'll meet. But I'm I'm just done. I'm over it. I watch the games, okay? I do. And you're not going to give Nikola Jokic is the MVP. He's the best player in the league, the best player in the world, but games wise, he's not going to reach the eligibility aspect of it. And quite frankly, right now, he's not playing very good basketball. He's not. He's not. So, anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. I usually don't go this long. I kind of rambled towards the end there, so I apologize about that. But if you like the show, wherever you consume us, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, or you pull it off of reclinermedia.com. Please, if there's a way to rate and review, please do that. We love that. It helps us grow. It helps other people let's see and listen to our content here on the Recliner Media Network. So we really appreciate that. And if you'd like, give me a follow on X at Matt Mascarenas1. I talk a lot of crap on X. If you want to get on there, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Matt_Mascarenas. So you can do all that stuff there. But thank you for tuning in today. We will I'll catch you. See, I don't know how to sign off. Sometimes I have a good idea of how to sign off. Sometimes I screw it up. But thank you for tuning, or thank you for you're not tuning in, but thank you for listening to today's show or watching today's show, however you did that, here on the Recliner Media Network. I'm Matt Mascarenas, and this is Ball Sports.